Moving forward for the next session. This is all about one of the proud wing of Odisha. We can say Odisha is known in global forum for few key things or more than that. Then one of the vital part, one of the most important part is all about handlooms, textiles and handicrafts. There is a city called Sambalpur which is known as Handloom City in the world map. There is a village which is known as Raghurajpur village, village of handicrafts and artifacts, you can see. So I must say the contribution of Odias and Odisha in this field is actually appreciable and worth thousand or you can say more than that round of applause. So moving forward in one of my favorite session, I would like to mention that technology should play the role of an enabler for widening the reach of these crafts. And all of you are aware that nowadays weavers are also having their YouTube channel. Weavers are promoting their products directly and they are having their websites. And also there are designing software like AutoCAD and so many things where a designer can actually go for the fusion of handloom and other clothings, and they can show that this handloom on the reach textiles of Odisha, we shouldn't wear only in the form of sari or traditional form, rather it can go for fusion designs. And also there is an option where you can go for the look and feel of this particular textiles or handlooms. So many things are already there, and there is a scope that lot many development can happen in this sector. So moving forward, this session would be chaired by Mr. Angshuman Bhattacharya. He is the founder and CEO of SIBIA Analytics. Angshuman Bhattacharya journey so far has been dedicated to sales, marketing and customer analytics across industry domain, CPG, FMCG, retail and BFSI. He carries an in-depth subject matter expertise in consumer behavior, mixed modeling, syndicate retail sales data, POS data, panel data and risk scorecard development from his history of functions across market in the US, Europe and India. And we have eminent speakers who are having already wonderful experience in their forte. Please put the hands together for Honorable Special Secretary, Industries and Director, Textiles and Handlooms, Shri Shovan Krishna Sahu, IRS. Sir, we welcome you on the dais. And you can see, sir is an institution in himself and already presenting handloom in his cloth today. Thank you so much, sir. And to join our Honorable Special Secretary, Industries, we are having Ms. Bhagyashree Pani, Strategic Partnership, Amazon Global Selling Team. Bhagyashree is an MBA from IIMB and Aditya Birla Scholar among top 15 across all IIMs for both 2019 and 2020. Prior to joining Amazon, she worked for Aditya Birla Group and Tata Steel. She is currently leading Strategic Partnership at Amazon Global Selling. Bhagyashree drove commissioning of India's then largest blast furnace at Kalinganagar, Odisha during her stint with Tata Steel. So let's have an enriching session like the proud wing of Odisha, handloom, textiles and handicrafts, and how application of technology can enhance the sector and promote the weavers and artisans. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. We'll try to keep it short and crisp. We don't want to be detriment between you and your lunch. So it always feels blessed when I visit the pious city of Bhubaneswar. I thank Nirupam, Sayan, and all the other NASCOM team members for inviting me in this eminent session. I, though, do not have any direct relationship with e-commerce or textile for that matter, but I have been a strong believer of the potential of internet. I have personal interest in different cultural products, including books, and I feel that internet and technology can really change the game and the fate of the people who are associated with this industry. We all know that Eastern India is the hotbed of cultural products and arts and crafts. Odisha probably takes a very significant position in this. Our presenter over here already spoken about that. Apart from the handicrafts, Odisha is also highly known for the textiles. I think the Katki and the Sambalpuri designs, etc., are highly close to our heart. And across India, not only in India, across the globe, they have their own repute. Now, what I see over here is that these kind of products, textiles or handlooms or even arts and crafts products, are primarily, though a source of livelihood for a number of people, but they work on a very limited means and really kind of outside the plethora of the regular large technology and economy. So I think our session today would like to focus on how we can bring that community inside the umbrella of different technology enablers and can promote those products across the globe. I remember in one of our many visits to Puri, we once went to a cluster called Raghurajpur. I think the presenter also mentioned about the same place, which is a village where a number of artisans and craftsmen have been working on a particular form of Bhattacharya for several centuries, and they're passing this on to the next generation. I remember seeing schools where few children are learning from the masters. What pained me during that, and that visit was a few years ago, is that they are quite, I think not quite, actually there is a non-existence technology set up over there, that how they can leverage the technology at least a few years back was kind of not known to them. They have no clue what to do about those. I think we should address those questions and how technology can enable them to ensure that they can adapt to the modern technologies, etc. So now in this panel, we'll try to structure this discussion on two aspects. One is that what we call the supply side of it, like when the products are being manufactured or created or preserved, how technology can help. And on the demand side of it, like how one can reach out to the larger global market through different technology aspects, and then kind of try to intervene these two aspects. So we call it the supply side and the demand side of the business. Now we have two very eminent personalities who would suit the requirement over here pretty well. We have first our senior IRS officer, Shovan Krishna Sahu, who is the textile director in Odisha. And I would ask a few questions to sir about the supply side and what are the technology gaps and how those could be bridged, and what are the government policies around that. And for Bhattacharya, my questions would be around how technology can enable, the larger technology houses can enable these artisans to take their product in the market, the demand side of this. Thank you very much for your patience, audience. So let me start asking the first question to sir. How do you describe the role of technology, particularly in the textile industry, manufacturing side, in Odisha, and which can also be kind of extended to the rest of India? And what role you think that technology should play, and what are the gaps you are right now envisaging?
Hello. Good afternoon all. In fact, you are talking about gap. Please fill the gap, FEEL. And please fill the gap, FILL. Why I say is perhaps a quite good number of entrepreneurs would be there in this particular august audience in this hall. And why I am saying please fill the gap and please fill the gap. The gap is so much. We are producing 5 to 6 lakh bales of cotton in southwestern part of Odisha, Kalahandi, then Balangir, Sonpur area. These are having black cotton soil. Out of 5 to 6 lakh bale of cotton, which is of 30 mm of staple length, which is the best variety of Indian staple, cotton variety. And that is getting exported through intermediaries, not in the official channel, to Bangladesh. And out of that, 4 lakh is going to Bangladesh. 50,000 to 1 lakh is going, 1 lakh bale. One bale is around 170 kg. So 50,000 to 1 lakh bale is going to Maharashtra, and another 1 lakh bale is going to Telangana and elsewhere. We have apparel industries. Since last 5 to 6 years, we have set up Sahi Exports, we have set up Aditya Birla Retail Fashion, we have set up Wild Lotus Fashion. They are producing apparels. Apparels means a stitched garment like this, or a shirt for women wear, for kids wear, for men's wear. Then what is the gap? There is no spinning, there is no weaving, there is no dyeing and processing, there is no yarn. There is no yarn manufacturing, what I meant to say. No cloth manufacturing. The Aditya Birla Fashion is having a good setup here in Rasulgarh. They are getting the cloth from Bangalore. The cloth is getting manufactured at Bangalore, supplied to Bhubaneswar. Then it is getting stitched as a good branded shirt. Similar is the case with other apparel industry. We have cotton, we have apparel. But unfortunately, we don't have yarn, yarn means thread. We don't have yarn, we don't have cloth. That is a big gap. Not only cotton textiles, polyester textiles. We are quite fortunate to have IOCL refinery in Paradip recently. And that is about to produce MEG and PTA. Both are, I will not go to the chemical details of those two compounds. Both are necessary for polyester manufacturing. Polyester filament yarn, polyester staple fiber. And both are about to be manufactured. I'll say that MEG is going to be manufactured by just another 2 months, February of 2023. Another 1 year, PTA will be manufactured. So they are able to supply you the raw material for polyester cotton or polyester viscose or any kind of polyester blended cloth. But unfortunately, we don't have a spinning yarn, spinning machinery, spinning mill for manufacturing the polyester blended fabrics. Not only that, cotton, polyester, then I am coming to silk. I am wearing a silk. This is a raw silk without getting dyed. Dyed means without getting colored. This particular raw silk is made out of peduncle. We say peduncle in pure Odia word, we call it is Demphi. Now we have commercialized the term as Demphi, DEMPHI, from Dempha. So that when the cocoon of silkworm is getting hooked to a branch of a tree, the rest part of the cocoon, which is just hooked to the tree, is called Demphi. Out of that, I have manufactured this particular shirt. This doesn't require even coloring, which is eliminating my pollution, chemical pollutions for dyeing and processing. It has its natural color of this one. We are all talking about sustainability in manufacturing and etc., whatnot. I will not go to detail in that. These cocoons, when we are producing silk, we are producing also silk sarees. But there is no spinning, no weaving, no dyeing and processing. Please do think that what was happening in 1900 with the textile industries somewhere in Lancashire or Manchester in London, and they were taking our cotton, our indigo, shipping cost, including the shipping cost from Mumbai port to London, including the profit of those manufacturers in London, British industrialists, including the return shipping cost, then also it was getting cheaper compared to what the handloom woven fabric is getting sold here locally. So what I meant to say, the kind of mass production is required, what I wanted to feel you people to feel. So that is what the technology gap is. So please, that is why recently Make in Odisha had happened, and the last week itself we had to go on a very big spree as to how to fill up the gap by attracting the investors. investors across the globe. There were 9 countries represented by their embassies, and also locally, I'm talking about nationally, most of the bigger industrialists had come here. So that is what my take is, that please do feel about this one and do feel through technology. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your very passionate answer. Uh, I understand that there are certain gaps, I mean, which could be software and the hardware side of it. But assuming that these gaps are somehow mitigated and the products are ready, now my question is to Bhagyasri. How do you think these local weavers or local brands can take their product globally through the help of technology?
Thanks for the question, Angshuman, and thanks to Shovan sir for filling in the supply side technology gaps. And thanks to NASCOM for giving me the opportunity to speak here. The opportunity on the distribution side, which I'd like to talk about, is the opportunity of e-commerce exports. E-commerce is something we all are very familiar with. We all order on Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, or our apparel. Apparel, in fact, is one of the largest, it's the lion's share of e-commerce sales, B2C e-commerce sales in India. It's about 80%. And when it comes to globally, apparel in US as well is as high as 40% of all apparel sales is on e-commerce. The opportunity which e-commerce brings in for textiles and handloom and handicraft is to reach these global markets with their local products. I think there is a lack in branding our local handicraft and handloom products, and then taking these local brands into global markets and building a global brand out of it. Prior to working in Amazon, I was working with Aditya Birla Fashion and Retail, and all of these fashion companies are now investing in luxury brands. And most of these luxury brands are out of country, are out of India. And they are usually these handcrafted products. You know, that's the beauty of a handcrafted product is no two products are same. They're all unique. And that brings in that brand value to them. And this same value lies in the local handicraft products of Odisha as well. And I think creating a local brand and then taking them to global markets is paramount. What Amazon Global Selling is helping them is to reach out to all these 18 other marketplaces across 200 countries in the world. As a weaver, artisan sitting in Odisha can access all of these marketplaces across the US, across Europe, across the Middle East, list their products there, and bring and cater to their needs of these beautiful handcrafted products. A fun fact I'd like to put here, like how these local handcrafted products get used globally. So our bed sheets, in our country, they're very printed, they're very colorful. When we started taking these local, bed sheet manufacturers, and when they started selling globally, we saw that in the US, it's printed in the US. They don't use printed. They didn't use them as their bed linen. They started using them as wall hangings. So we don't know that what is the opportunity that's lying cross country with these local products. Maybe the local market is not yet mature to consume these products, but globally there's a huge opportunity lying for these products. And that is the opportunity which can be unlocked using e-commerce and e-commerce exports. In fact, apparel is one of the most growing categories. It's growing at a rate of 82% year on year on global selling on Amazon. We also have an accelerator program for budding startups who want to build a global brand. It's called Propel Accelerator Program. It gives one-on-one mentorship to these local startups on how they can build a global brand and reach to all of these markets outside, or the millions of customers outside who are looking for these Indian local products, but we are not able to cater to those needs. It's a latent need waiting to be explored, and the opportunity to be grabbed. And I think there's a huge potential to unlock in textiles and handloom and handicraft, and I think that's a big contribution which technology can make in the sector.
Thanks, Bhagyasri. I mean, all the points are highly encouraging. The beauty of the bed cover is so good that people actually hanging it in the wall and so that other people can see. This is the beauty of a handicrafts. I think all our artisans and craftsmen deserve a huge applause for that. So textile, as I understand, apparels are growing at 82%. I mean, for any industry, any country is an unimaginable growth number. Sir, you already spoken about Made in Odisha as one of the initiatives taken by the government over here. Can you also talk about few more initiatives being taken by your department or the government so that, not only the people over here, but the people who are listening from outside and other states can also learn, and maybe those governments also can pick up their brain on such things?
Thank you for the question, Angshuman. In fact, I feel that I am having a sequel of this particular sectoral session on textiles, as if what I had done, my prequel in the earlier session in MIO, Make in Odisha. In fact, we unveiled our apparel and technical textile policy 2022. That was unveiled in this Make in Odisha last week itself, wherein we had given the best of shops, best of opportunities to the investors to invest in Odisha. And we had made a comparative analysis among various state policies across the country, and we found that whatever gap we have, what I discussed earlier, that gap can only be filled up by giving the best of opportunities to these investing industrialists. And I can tell some of the inputs in that particular policy. We had apparel policy in 2015, and now 2022, that gives the best of capital investment subsidy to the extent of 40%. With a cap of 50 crores. Supposing you are going to invest 100 crores in a particular spinning mill or a power loom sector or a dyeing and processing unit, you will get 40 crores from the government side. 60 crore you have to invest. If you are investing 125 crore, you invest 75 crore, we will give you 50 crore. Of course, that is in the staggered manner of 5 years only, 8% each year. And the kind of subsidy will be given will be to the extent of 8% from the date of commencement of commercial production. That is a 40% is nowhere in any state you can find such a beautiful percentage of getting the investment opportunity in Odisha, what you are getting here. Now, number two is, which is even biggest in the country, that for every female employee, whoever is going to employ, we will give them 6,000 rupees per month as the employment assistance subsidy. If you as an entrepreneur, if you are having an apparel industry and you are investing in that, thank you. If the female employee is there, you are paying her around 8,000 rupees to 10,000 rupees, we will give you 6,000 rupees per month. And if a male employee is there, that is a 5,000. You give 4 to 5,000, we give 4 to 5,000, we will give 5,000. So for every male employee, we will give 5,000 rupees. For every female employee, we are giving 6,000 rupees as the employment assistance subsidy. Then there are others, so many. I am talking about textile policy. I am also a special secretary in industries department, where we have come up with industrial policy resolution 2022, which we also unveiled last week only in this Make in Odisha event. In that, there will be an extent of 200% of SGST reimbursement to each of the entrepreneurs who are investing in this particular thrust area of textiles. What I meant to say is, supposing you are investing in a spinning machinery or a power loom, high-tech power loom, or a dyeing processing unit, wherein the 18% subsidy is 18% GST you are going to pay, 9% for the government, central government, 9% for the state government. So for 9% state government, we are making it 200% reimbursement. That means you are getting almost 100% of the total GST getting reimbursed. That's what the take from the state government of Odisha side. So what I am saying is, these kind of, and electricity, let me tell you, I didn't hear such a word called power holiday. In developed states like Punjab and other nearby states, there is a power holiday. For 2-3 days, you cannot just have the power in a subsidized rate for the industries. For all other 4-5 days, supposing out of 7 days, 4 days is non-holiday and 3 days is holiday. So for 4 days, you will get for each 7 rupees per unit charges of electricity, you will have to pay 5 rupees or 4.5 rupees. But rest of the 3 days, if you are producing, if your machines are working all the 3 shifts, then you will have to pay the 7 rupees without any exemption in electricity duty. But in Odisha, for all the 7 days out of 7 days, you will get 100% on electricity duty exemption, which is 2 rupees around, out of 7 rupees, 100% exemption, and around 50 paise from the tariff side. So as a whole, 4.5 rupees around per unit cost, which is almost the best one available in any state compared to any other state in the country. So these kinds of other inputs are there in industrial policy resolutions, which will really attract investors. I hope some of you, if you can come up with a textiles manufacturing unit, we will help you out. Please do come to Odisha and do invest in Odisha. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for all these encouraging words. I have very seldom heard that a government is giving such an employment subsidy, and there cannot be any bigger women empowerment than this model. It encourages a lot of women to come up and join the workforce. Thank you very much. And I'm sure there's a lot of learning for everyone, all the other states from these policies. My last question to Bhattacharya is that, so can you talk about some programs or promotional policies being taken at your end to promote the textiles or the handicrafts globally and probably locally in this market?
Thanks for the question, Angshuman. So, and I feel very proud when Shovan sir brought up these policies. Being from Odisha, I feel very proud that these groundbreaking changes are coming up to, increase the supply of textiles. And in fact, NASCOM did a study and predicted that the current, online-led exports are going to grow by 45 times by 2030. So the headroom for growth is very high. So, we should actually keep strengthening the supply side so that we can keep catering to this, opportunity of growth in the textile exports and even locally. So, we have, so I have already told about the global selling program we had, and we do a lot of hand-holding to help these exporters, learn about exports, learn about e-commerce, and use our platform to scale their business. And it's the beauty of technology that kind of aids this process. Sitting from their homes, they can start selling in at least in 4-5 marketplaces directly from here. They can reach to the end consumer directly. They can look at the feedback from a customer buying in the US on what actually they want from their products and customize it even before they are designing or even before they're manufacturing. I think that the user-generated content which e-commerce platforms bring in, it can be very helpful for the local sellers. And in fact, it's not just, so when a customer is buying on e-commerce, what they look at is the picture, and they buy looking at the picture and reading at the description. We do provide a lot of support and market intelligence to these sellers to know how the picture should look like, and what kind of words they should use to describe the product so the customer will understand and buy it. They can also control their pricing across all these marketplaces at their fingertips. They would have access to the market intelligence of what kind of price bands work where, what kind of discounts work where, and create a global. And we also support them on how to build a brand, how to register a brand, and all of this. It's all at the tap of their fingers. We also look forward to various, of making all the government's policies for, export-related incentives for e-commerce exporters as well. And the government did, take cognizance of that and has extended all the export-related incentives to e-commerce exports as well. So I think it's a very exciting space, and given there's a very, very large headroom for growth, I think as the supply side strengthens, we would also look at getting these, sellers to export their products through e-commerce and grow their business globally. There's just one point I'd like to make, that India's merchandise exports, they surpassed their target of $400 billion in 2021, and they're currently at $418 billion. And the share of e-commerce globally is only 9% in this, and the headroom for growth is very high. China, on the other hand, does $2,500 billion of global exports with the same kind of population. Vietnam, with just 1/10 of India's population, does $335 billion of merchandise exports. So we do need to catch up fast, and I think technology is going to be one of the major enablers in this.
Thank you, Bhagyashree. The numbers are really encouraging, the amount of headroom India enjoy as the exporter is really mind-blowing. I'm sure that we have been able to add a number of value propositions for the people who are in the textile industry or who are associated with the handicrafts and handloom industries. My personal thinking is that it is very important for all the people around this industry, because they are mostly outside the larger umbrella of technology, how we can bring them in. Given that the government impetus and the policies being taken by state governments like Odisha, and also the important network players, giants in the internet like Amazon, they are providing. I think it's only time that these artisans also will catch up with the wind and kind of be in the forefront of merchandising and marketing their products well. I just want to take one step more ahead, and that how the new technologies, the more advanced technologies can help. And over here, two things comes to my mind. One is the GI tagging, which has kind of gives a huge branding and kind of an entry barrier to the products. And the second is that the NFT, the non-fungible tokens, application of non-fungible tokens, especially in the handicrafts and the arts products. These will create a great entry barrier and an identity to each of the artisans on their own product. I would like to leave this with this thought to my eminent panelists and all the eminent guests present over here, that think through these advanced technologies, how we can reap the benefit of NFT and similar technologies, and can create not only just export our product, but create an identity and enjoy a monopoly on the products we sell. With this, I would like to conclude, but just before that, I personally would like to thank the two gentlemen from the morning, from the beginning of the sessions, have been continuously translating our voices in sign languages, who have been being broadcasted also. And I would like the presenter, if they can announce their names, so we all know the gentleman behind such a gesture. Thank you very much.